The illuminating qualities brought by Islam was scientific thought. The pre-Islamic Arab and Middle Eastern societies were not concerned with questions about the universe, how nature came into existence, and how it worked. They learned to reflect on these and to seek their answers from the Quran. In the Quran, God commands humanity to explore how the heavens and earth came to be. This mindset powered the rise of science in Islamic civilization. This was a unique scientific development in the history of the world. Baghdad became the scientific capital of the Empire of Islam, as well as being its administrative capital. Scientists, philosophers, and researchers flocked to Baghdad, four corners of the Islamic world, and met in a house there in order to unravel the mysteries of the universe which God had created. This awareness of Muslim scientists, which derived from the Quran, gave rise to the greatest advancements of science, quite unlike anything seen before. Another quality taught to Muslims by the Quran is open-mindedness, which enabled them to examine other civilizations' scientific knowledge without prejudice. Muslim works contained a considerable amount of research, observation, experiments, and calculations. The decimal system used all over the world today was developed by Muslim mathematicians. Muslim scientists attached great importance to astronomical observation. Modern astronomy was to develop from their systems. Muslim scientists also calculated the moon's orbit around the Earth and recorded mathematical formulae. Algebra and trigonometry are the inventions of Muslim mathematicians. The stunning works of architecture in the four corners of the Islamic world were made possible by the scientific infrastructure. Some of the most striking achievements of the Muslims were in the field of medicine, at a time Europeans considered illnesses to be caused by evil spirits. Treatment was not a word to be found in the vocabulary of the European mind. Muslim scientists, on the other hand, concluded after much research that illnesses were caused by creatures which were too to be seen, and that patients must be treated in isolation from the healthy population. Thus, the world's first modern hospitals were founded. The patients were kept and treated by scientific methods in separate wards, according to the type of illnesses they suffered from. Patients suffering from mental illness received music therapy, at a time when in Europe, the mentally ill were considered to be the servants of Satan and burned alive. Muslim physicians' observation of the human anatomy was so accurate as to lead them to be used as textbooks in European medical schools for over 6 centuries.
Drunken threats about what he would do to the fellow when he woke up in the morning and then fell fast asleep again. Probably
a documentary about the world of Islam, prepared for the BBC by the commentator Terry Jones, says the following on the high scientific standards of Islam.
Stabbed him all over in a frenzied attack. One philosopher from the town of Haran, for example, had already correctly calculated the distance from the Earth to the Moon, while another had suggested that if you could divide the atom, you would release enough power to destroy a city the size of Baghdad. In this medical school, built here in Damascus in 1154, doctors were already teaching anatomy, preventive medicine, hygiene, surgery, the circulation of the blood centuries before Harvey.
Muslim physicians took the pulse of their patients when examining them, centuries before the Europeans knew about blood circulation. Women gave birth under the most hygienic conditions possible at that time. The era's sourcebooks picturing the implements used by Muslim surgeons show just how advanced their medical knowledge was. Women, too, were educated in the schools of science in the Islamic world, contributing their share to the advancement of science. Muslim scientists made some very significant discoveries in the field of optics and light. The first person to describe the anatomy of the eye in great detail was the optician Ibn al-Haytham. Acclaimed research up the way for the invention of the camera. Muslims also discovered the causes of eyesight impairments and carried out successful cataract operations 1,000 years before the Europeans. The scientific heritage of Islam became the source of European enlightenment beginning in the 15th century. Christian scientists launched scientific development with knowledge acquired from their Muslim counterparts. Islam's light illuminated them too.